Alright guys, today we're going to start off a little different than the way we did last time. This will probably be the last Opus 5 spoilers we go through. So the pre-release will be next week, and I'm assuming that probably the Monday after that we'll have a good idea of all the cards in the set. So this will be the last Opus 5 spoilers I do. And hopefully the next time I give you some new Opus 5 news, it'll be regarding decks and combos and stuff we can actually use to prepare ourselves. I know for me it's been a little while, so I can't really, I can't in good conscience make any more Opus 4 decks with all the new stuff I've learned. So let's just get right into this. The first thing I want to talk about is the Dark card, Eldnarsh. This is the Legendary. We haven't gotten the Legendary for Light yet, but I assume it'll come out by the end of the week. There's probably more spoilers coming out as you're watching this video, or more stuff has come out. And you'll be like, I'm sure you'd like to know what I had to think, but you can always message me in the comments below. Anyway, Eldnarsh, Descendant of Zillar, Final Fantasy 11. If Eldnarsh leaves the field and return Eldnarsh to your hand instead. That's kind of like Hildebrand, so I can kind of see him fitting in with Hildebrand there. So you kind of always get the cards back to your hand. And his effect is Paradise S. Take one more turn after this one. At the end of that turn, you lose that game. You lose the game. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are already thinking of good combos for this. You kind of want a 2-turn kill, kind of set them up. I'm sure it might be played in ice. You know how you get a freeze, or maybe like aggro decks. You take 4 points of damage in one turn. Yeah, this is gonna be definitely played. So be on the lookout for this, guys. You always want to make sure you have answers to stuff for 2 turns now, I guess. But yeah, let's move on to the Lightning card. Now, we've only gotten a few Lightning spoilers so far, and that leads me to believe that that Lightning is going to be really strong, because I see that this is a Scion of the 7th Dawn, that there might be more Scions in the Lightning element class. So if you control a job of Scion of the 7th Dawn other than Thancred, Thancred gains 1000 power. So that leaves him at 9k. And if Thancred receives damage while the damage is reduced by 2,000 instead. So pretty much you're not going to be able to trade with this guy, and Ice is going to have a hard time blowing him up when he's in the dull state. So yeah, he's going to be pretty strong. You're going to have to beat him by what? By 2k. So you're gonna, if you do fight him, he's at 9,000. You're going to want to be at 11 at least if you're trying to trade with him, or if you're trying to take him out. Or when you block him, pretty much, because he won't die otherwise. There you go. Moving on to the water. This is a 5-cost, 8 CP. Vosler, Final Fantasy 12. Or 13, I think that is. If you can, yeah, this is 12. If you control card named Ash, the cost for playing Vosler is onto the field is reduced by 2. So he becomes a 3-cost, which is good. If Vosler receives damage, it is reduce the damage by 1,000 instead. If the card named Ash you control receives damage, reduce the damage by 2,000 instead. So I guess they're gonna play Ash and Vosler together. It might be its own water type, mono wind type. I would guess. And they're gonna piggyback off each other and kind of reduce the damage. And with min 1 on the board, it's gonna be hard to deal any damage to them altogether. So that's just something to think about. We do have a new Ash, and I don't know if you'll play this one instead. It's not a Sky Pirate, so it's not going to benefit from it. So I think this one will be played with the first Ash, the only Ash we have right now, and it'll be good. So that's going to be fun to watch. Next is Arcanist. You can have multiples of these on the board, which is cool. I love the art for this. For those who play Final Fantasy 14, this is Carbuncle, and I can't wait till we get a Carbuncle with this art. The light blue summon Esper, whatever you want to call it art. But forward, standard unit effect, exhaust to choose 1 water forward. It gains 1,000 power until the end of the turn, which is good. And then for 2 waters and 1 colorless, you can tap and choose 1 forward. It loses 3,000 power until the end of the turn. That is very good. 3,000 power is reducing something by 3,000 is very cool. I just don't like that this is a forward. I think it'd be overpowered, obviously, if it was a backup, but I guess that's where the balance comes in. This is another Lena target, just thinking off the top of my head. So you could essentially bring this out with Lena and just keep it there. You don't have to worry about trying to summon it, or you could summon it and maybe reduce stuff by 6,000. if you really wanted to, or buff stuff by 2,000 if you have more than one, two of them on the board. Moving on to Ondor, also Final Fantasy 12. He's a backup, 2-cost backup. Choose one category, 12 forward. You control. It gains 1,000 power until the end of the turn. There's going to be a lot of 12 characters. I think they go into fire and water and I think some lightning. I don't know. But he leaves this deck open to a few color combinations with this by itself. So he's pretty good, I guess. Not bad. You don't have to pay any CP as some other backups require you to do so. So it's just a free 1,000 at the end of the turn. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So now the Earth cards. These are probably the ones I'm most excited for. I think going into Opus 5, I'm going to end up playing Earth or some Earth combinations, maybe Earth Ice, because I'm currently playing Ice still. This one's fun. This is Ingus, Warrior of Light. So now we've seen 2 of them. We've seen Refia, we've seen Ingus. I'm assuming there will be a stronger Arc and a stronger Lunith that will definitely be played. But he reads the job Warrior of Light forwards and Earth forwards other than Ingus you control gain 1,000 power. Kind of like Refia, or exactly like Refia actually. A total of 3 active Earth forwards or backups. Choose one forward. It gains 2,000 power until the end of the turn. Now, not as strong as of an effect as the Refia to return 1. It's not as costly either, but I think it's balanced, I guess, in the sense where it's kind of like Monk, where instead of getting 3,000 in Brave, you only get 2k, but we don't have to send something to the grave. He definitely will see play. It is, again, it'll help during the game, but it's definitely going to help a lot end game when you have all that extra CP to kind of like mess around with, to play around with. So I do expect Ingus to see a lot of play in mono Earth decks, or the Warrior of Light deck, because essentially all the Warrior Lights, it'll be a multicolor deck and they'll help each other out. They're going to buff each other. So I'm assuming the Warrior of Light deck will also play strong wind characters, maybe even Maria, just to help boost them some more. Yeah, they'll boost each other, but the Maria will give them an extra 1k boost, and that way they'll be played. So next one is Hilgigas. It's a monster. You can have multiples of these. Giant. When a character your opponent controls uses an action ability, put Hilgigas into the break zone. If you do so, cancel its effect and break that. Now, this is going to be cool just to stop again, once off the top of my head, it's going to be stop Garnet. Garnet's going to be, one of the actions she'll play instead of paying 2 water. She'll pay the 2 water, but then she'll die. But yeah, I see a lot of them. We're going to talk about a few of them coming up right now, but this mechanic of when you're kind of like Cleon. Cleon was the first of its kind, but now every element's getting one. Ice, Fire, and this is the first Earth one. We're going to talk about the rest of them in just a sec. That are mandatory effects and react when your opponent does something. And this one's probably the most, I wouldn't say the most beneficial, but it's definitely something that's very strong. Definitely going to turn a lot of these decks into kind of control decks where you kind of have to work around them or force people to do something. These also, this effect and some of the other ones also lead me to believe that the Dark Emperor might not see so much play, because you want to include some of these other cards to open up. But I don't know. Don't quote me in that. Again, these are just my opinions. You guys can feel free to let me know what you really think in the comments below. But yeah, I like Hilgigas. Hilgigas is gonna definitely see play. Just so I don't have to play Emperor. I'll keep it open for that. Now the win cards. First here we have a 3-cost forward from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2, Adele. Adele has haste, and for 1 win CP, Adele cannot be blocked this turn. So I'm convinced there's going to be a lot of we're going to see a lot more wind aggro decks, kind of rush decks, trying to add these, because with Chocobos and now Adele, they have cheap summons with haste and that can't be blocked. And then everyone knows the No Zemus combo already, so it's just going to be annoying. Yeah, be ready for that stuff, guys. I expect that to be very common in most tournaments. And this card, Chocobo Knight, is definitely gonna work with that same category, that same type of deck. When Chocobo Knight enters the field, you may search for one job Chocobo or card name Chocobo and add it to your hand. and you can exhaust Chocobo Knight. You may play one Chocobo or card named Chocobo of cost 4 or less from your hand onto the field. Now, assuming he lives that long, this card can just add a lot of value to your board. I definitely wouldn't leave him alive too long, but you can't. He is a standard unit, and you can have multiples of this Chocobo Knight. So that means you can just spam like your Chocobos all day. Again, be ready for these rush down decks, these aggro decks. There's going to be a lot of them, and they're all going to be win based. So keep that in mind, guys. And if you want to talk about Y'shtola here, this is the first win legendary we see. Another Scion of the 7th Dawn, category 14. Y'shtola doesn't receive any damage from summons or abilities, which is crazy. And put Y'shtola into the break zone and choose one summon or auto ability and cancel its effect. Now, I wouldn't, choose an auto ability. That's, you're going to stop, what's her name, Shantotto right off the bat. So playing, if you do play mono wind or like a tempo wind deck, this is going to be played in 3s and against the earth matchups and all those other silly effects. Those board clears that are going to stop you, you can just negate them. Like this stops Cagnazzo, Cloud of Darkness, Shantotto. She won't be broken by Bahamut. Alcid, she's going to sit there and she's going to be strong and she's going to be annoying. She is a good first turn drop, like a first forward drop, even at 7k. She's going to stick around and she's going to put a stop to a lot of things. So Y'shtola is going to be very expensive, I think. So be on the lookout for this card. If you get it, hold on to it. You don't know what's going to happen right away. Good luck to everyone at the pre-release this weekend coming up. I think I said next week, but I meant this weekend earlier. Over the weekend, we'll probably get the full list. So be on the lookout for this card, guys. Hold on to it. It's going to be strong. Now, Fire has definitely brought us a lot of surprising cards. Excuse me, guys, ahead if I stumble a lot on this one because there's a lot of text here. So 5 cost, 9k, Vermilion Bird LC Zuyu. When Vermilion Bird Zuyu attacks, Vermilion Bird Zuyu gains first strike until the end of the turn. When the forward damage by Vermilion Bird Zuyu is put from the field to the break zone on the same turn, activate Vermilion Bird LC Zuyu. And then it says Vermilion Bird Zuyu can attack once more. So pretty much he can get rid of all your forwards if he sends it to the grave. So be careful with this guy. He's very strong. Typo, LC, job class. And for 1 fire CP, he gains haste until the end of the turn. So he can pretty much just come out and start attacking. Maybe a fire, fire water deck he'd be good in. I don't know, but the problem is Typo doesn't have any waters. So unless it's like really a fire type O deck, splash water with like water support, because Minwoo will really save this card. It's kind of like how the Tidus Blitz Ace combo used to work. You kind of just want to swing for a few times, clear his board of his forwards because you're not going to die anyway. And this guy will definitely do the same thing. You either just give him a point of damage or let him take out your forwards. Yeah, sometimes you don't have that option or you can't afford it. But anyway, moving on to this one, Gedo. Nora, 8,000. He's the first of the Nora job class that we see. The forwards of cost 2, you control gain 2,000 power. When Godot attacks, choose a forward, it gains haste until the end of the turn. That seems okay. He's on curve forward, but I can't think of anything really for him. Unless you play him in a weird fire Golbez deck with you want to bump all your two cost forwards. I don't know why. They're all pretty. They all have like special effects to get through anyway. But I don't know. If you guys see anything with this, please let me know. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this card too. I don't know. We could see a lot of very important 2 costs in a 13 deck for this one. But yeah, next is Caius. Now we only have 1 Caius right now. He's a 6 cost, but this guy's a lot cheaper and just as strong. Brave. When Caius is put from the field into the break zone, discard 1 card from your hand. Now that might be for some people that might be a big price to pay, but honestly, for a 4 cost 9k with Brave, it doesn't seem so bad to me. Fire's definitely getting some real strong big bodies to deal with, and this guy's gonna be annoying, especially with Marsh. If you do play him in a Brave Marsh deck, And yeah, category 13, maybe fire ice stuff. I don't know, man. There's a lot of cool things about this card. It's probably why I used Kaya's for him. There's a lot of 13 cards still because we're getting a 13 deck too, so starter deck. And this is also from category 13. Grenade, use a bomb. Monster, multiples. When a forward of your opponent with 8,000 power or less enters the field, put grenade into the break zone. If you do so, deal 8k damage to it. Now, I think because fire's a little slower, they gave this to them because they want you to deal with the aggro decks. Let's say you don't open anything super good your first turn, but you open grenade. Grenade is definitely going to be something you can keep on the board to help you, when they bring out chocobos or any of those haste forwards that are come out, you're going to just blow them up before they get any chance to deal damage to you, and that'll help you kind of make your way into the mid range when fire decks, mid to late game range when fire decks shine. Or this will be in a control type deck where you kind of hold off and prevent them from summoning stuff. Of course, and against the water mirror match, this might not be that great, but I still think it's a really good card. Again, and kind of like Helgigus we were talking about, this is a reaction effect. It's a mandatory effect when your opponent does something. So, yeah, everyone's getting one. Cleone, Helgigus, and now Grenade. All right, now we're gonna wrap up with Ice. Again, like I mentioned, I'm still playing Ice, and I'm kind of stuck on Ice for the moment. I don't even want to go back to Water yet, but we'll start with this one, Goomba. Not the Super Mario Goomba, but when Goomba is put from the field into the break zone, you may search for one card named Goomba and play it onto the field dull. This is a 2-cost Ice backup. Honestly, the only thing I can think of here is for Delita, and I think Feral Chaos. I'm not sure if it's going to work because of the way Feral Chaos is worded, but I'm confident to say that it will. When Feral Chaos attacks or blocks, you can send this and get another Goomba. So at least that gives you 3 turns, or if you haven't brought any or pitched any before, up to 3 turns of free sustainable Feral Chaos attacks or blocks, which is cool. And same thing for Delita. Delita can blow this up on when he comes in, and you'll be fine. But it's another simple Ice backup for the moment. I'm sure some people will find other things for this, but for now, that's all I can think of. I do want to talk about Une. Une is going to be a very powerful card, I think. At least at the beginning, a lot of people are gonna. I think people are gonna tech this because it's kind of like a spellbinding circle for my Yu-Gi-Oh players or anyone familiar with the card. Une enters the field dull. Une does not activate during your activate phase. And when Une enters the field, choose a forward your opponent controls, dull it. As long as Une is on the field, it does not activate during its controller's activate phase. Again, kind of like Spellbinding Circle, just keeps it there. It doesn't negate its effect, so you kind of want to just stop one of the strong forwards or something stronger than you, something that'll usually overpower your forwards. Kind of slow the decks down. But I like it. I definitely will tech one in whatever I decide to build because I think it's going to be very, very important to kind of have a summon. It's kind of like a Raban, if you will, where you have a forward deployment that can stop a forward. Other than that, it's not necessarily going to destroy it or break it or deal damage, but it will remove it from the equation for a short period of time, or if not, until your opponent can deal with it. Now remember, Une is a forward, so there are more ways to remove it, but it's going to be something similar to Raban, where I think it's going to see a lot of play in that regard. Or it's going to surprise us on how much play it sees. Next is a 4-cost backup, Herdy. When Herdy enters the field, you may search for one card Mont Blanc and add it to your hand. Mont Blanc we got in the last set in Opus 4. It's another 4-cost fire Moogle. There's going to be a lot more Moogles, but I don't know how a 4-cost searches for another 4-cost backup, and it doesn't seem important to me. So, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. We all know these are, if you've noticed the art style, this is the exclusive art for this set. So, it's okay. It's fun. It's a fun style. I like it. But that's all I got to say on this one. Buckaboo is a monster, multiples, goblin. When a character of your opponent enters the field, put Buckaboo into the break zone. If you do so, your opponent discards 2 cards from his or her hand. Now, honestly, I just think this is gonna really like slow down your opponent, if especially in the Icewind aggros. This might be something that you decide to play in there just to tech kind of slow them down, because I can see a first turn Shulk play and then dropping a Buckaboo at the same time, and then your opponent's gonna end up with probably 2 cards by the time they play their first card, and that's just gonna set them back a lot. There's a lot of things to think about here, but I don't want to get into too many secrets because I probably will play this card. This is another thing. See, this is a similar monster to Helgigas and Grenade and Cleon. It's a response effect when your opponent, a mandatory effect when your opponent does something. So, yeah, Buckaboo, get ready for this one. And this one just happened overnight, and I just wanted to bring it up. Like I said earlier, I'm sure a lot more spoilers are coming up while I'm editing this video. But just for the purpose of keeping this video as short as possible, I'm going to just talk about this. Will be the last one we talk about. Now, the Emperor Ice Mobius, 3 cost, 7k. When Emperor enters the field, you may pay 1 CP. If you do so, your opponent discards 1 card from his hand, which is good, which is cool. And when your opponent draws a card outside of his or her draw phase, choose a forward your opponent controls, dull it, and freeze it. Now, I don't think this is going to be a good card. I'm not saying it's not. But I don't know if it's going to see the immediate play, because people are still going to be interested in playing the other Emperor. But I think going down, when we do run into decks that draw a lot of cards, that kind of have very explosive draw turns or stuff like that, this Emperor is going to be very important. Now, this is the Ice Legendary, by the way, guys. I forgot to mention that, but this is very strong. Hold on to this one. This is kind of like if you guys played any other card games, things like this are kind of what stop people from going forward. So kind of think of it as maxi instead of special summoning. But when your opponent draws, you can kind of slow down their forwards. So even if they keep putting hasty forwards on the board, you can freeze them. This will see play. Don't worry. Just not yet. Well, that wraps it up, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this, the Opus 5 spoilers series. Again, this will be the last one I talk about. There was a lot to take in both of these episodes, and I hope you guys have some ideas for decks and stuff already. Well, we should, like I said, we should know the entire set over the weekend. As soon as everyone can share all the information that they've gotten over every sneak peek. Good luck to all of you out there. If I get a chance, I will get my hands on a sneak peek and kind of share it with you, see what I pull. But no promises on that one, guys. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about is the winner, is the 150 subs winner. Thank you guys for everyone who subscribed. Thank you to all my new subscribers and all my old subscribers again. We have hit about 210 now. So that's a big jump from the 150 already. My next giveaway will be at 300. We're going to double until we hit 1K. So first was 150, next is 300. The following one will be 600, and then we'll stop at 1K for a fourth giveaway. So, thank you guys for all your support. I know some of you have been commenting on how you like the videos, and I appreciate that. It means a lot. Helps me want to keep making more videos for you guys. But this subs winner, this contest winner is Alex McCown. I think that's how your name. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Alex McCown, I will be reaching out to you if you haven't already heard from me by now. Yeah, good. Thanks, everyone. I will send those prizes out as soon as I get all your information. Again, congratulations, Alex McCown. And I'll see you guys next week for probably your first Opus 5 talk, set talk. And I'll catch you then.